on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Welcome to Rogers Center on a perfect afternoon for baseball. It's game 2 of a 4-game series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays. Blue Jays ran into a red-hot pitcher in last night's game. James Shields threw his 10th complete game of the season, beating the Blue Jays 6-1. He beat them for the 3rd time this season. Blue Jays were trying to get something going with the bats. It's been a real rough stretch for the Blue Jays with the bats. Now it's time for the Tampa Bay lineup. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. The lineups are brought to you by TD Canada Trust. Banking can be this comfortable. 3rd time in the season, the Blue Jays have given up 4 home runs in a game. Leadoff batter Desmond Jennings hit a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. Sam Fuld starts in right field. Evan Longoria had 2 home runs, the 8th time in his career he's had a multi-home run game. Zobrist, Upton, Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez playing at first base for just the 2nd time this season. Kelly Shopping, Elliott Johnson at 2nd, and Reed Brignac, the shortstop.
The Rays are 10 games over 500 versus a left-handed starter, and that's what they will face this afternoon as Luis Perez takes the mound for his 2nd start. He has made 29 relief appearances for the Blue Jays this year. He took a perfect game into the 6th inning during his first big league start in beating Oakland 1-0. He was on a pitch count and pitched perfect baseball into that 6th inning. He ended up with just 1 hit allowed and 4 strikeouts, picking up the W. Good numbers all the way around for Luis Perez, the young left-hander who's been swinging back and forth between the bullpen and now starting. The scouting report for Luis Perez is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. He needs to attack with his fastball. He's got great action on that pitch, and he throws it with late movement. Good slider and a good fastball. He's got that action in the strike zone. His slider is much better. It's a pitch that has really come a long way, and if you could have seen him in the minor leagues and where he is today, he has had tremendous improvement as a pitcher. So you'll see a lot of fastballs and a good slider this afternoon from young Luis Perez.
Defensively behind Perez, the Blue Jays continue to juggle their lineup. Thames is in left. Dwayne Wise in his 3rd stint with the Blue Jays is in center field. Jose Bautista in right. Up the middle, it's Escobar and Kelly Johnson, the former Braves double play combination here with the Blue Jays. Now Brett Laurie, Adam Lind at the corners, J.P. Arancibia behind the plate today to handle Luis Perez, and Dwayne Wise was picked up on waivers with the injury of Colby Rasmus and his subsequent placement on a disabled list. They needed a veteran center fielder, and Wise fits the bill.
You know, we don't know all the ins and outs that go on in contracts and everything, but he was in the organization. It was a surprise that he was let go. Ended up playing some games with the Florida Marlins, but it's a good move. Bringing a veteran like this back, he can play. And he can play center field, and he's going to get a chance as Colby Rasmus goes on the DL today. Does a little bit of everything when he enters a ball game.
Desmond Jennings will start things off for Tampa Bay. Jennings went 1 for 4 in the game. We mentioned his 2-run home run. That got the Rays off and running. That came in the 3rd inning of last night's game. What a beautiful day for baseball. Blue Jays looking to put together some offense, but first they'll hope that Luis Perez can do the same thing he did last time out. Jose Bautista was ejected from the game last night in the 6th inning after his 3rd at bat. First pitch downstairs. Perez is Pat Manchin making his 2nd career start in the big leagues. He really was aggressive last time out. Just really trusted his fastball and challenged the Oakland hitters early and often.
Well, he's got good movement on it, and that's the thing that you can see from Perez. Against the right-handers, it'll dive away from him. He'll cut it in on their hands at times. The whole key for him is just throwing strikes, not getting too quick with his body.
I asked Perez yesterday about his mechanics. I said, do you use any different mechanics now that you're starting? He goes, my mechanics go day to day. Whatever I warm up like, that's the way my mechanics are going to be on that particular day. Not too concerned about anything technical. Popped into right. Bautista jogging in a few steps. 1 down.
spoken like a true young pitcher, not really understanding themselves or knowing themselves well. And I think that's why you're seeing, as this season goes along, him pitching in the big leagues and how much of an improvement he has had.
Sam Fuld, we mentioned he did not play in yesterday's game. He's in right field here this afternoon. Fuld was picked up in a trade with the Chicago Cubs and got off to a terrific start. He became an instant hero in Tampa Bay. He has slowed down since and lost some of the regular playing time. Last 8 games. Boy, I tell you what, you look up and down this lineup and look at the batting averages and scratch your head to see how they score runs.
That's why they have to create runs, and they do a good job of that. Using every resource they have, if you will, offensively, stealing bases, bunting them over, productive at bats. You don't see a lot of 300 hitters in that batting lineup, but they can score some runs.
There's a strike. 2-1. 7 guys in the 9-man lineup are hitting 241 or lower. You look at the bottom of the order: Shopik 177, Johnson 180, Reed Brignac 192. But they get it done. Three and one. Sam Fuld is a base stealing threat. You want to make sure you don't give him a free pass. He has 20 steals in 28 attempts. And that's a big part of the offense for the Rays. Take a walk, steal a base.
Taken all the way. Sam Fuld there trying to get something started here in the first inning against Perez, making that young pitcher throw a strike. They are 3rd in the American League in stolen bases.
Very shallow in the outfield. Fuld doesn't have a lot of power. Bouncing ball. Big hop for Escobar. 2 down. If Perez is on his game, you can expect to see an awful lot of ground ball outs. The one thing, Pat, I have noticed, we've seen Perez, Henderson Alvarez, the starter in yesterday's game, and young Joel Carreño. The 3 Latin pitchers appear to be very, very comfortable pitching in the big leagues.
Confident. That's the first thing you see when they're out there. They don't get rattled. You read their body language, and they look like they belong here. That's half the battle, I think. Feeling like you belong in the big leagues.
Evan Longoria belongs. He's already been an all-star, won a Gold Glove. He's a home run machine right now. 2 home runs in the game last night. The 8th time in his career he's had multi-home run game. We talked about his approach at the plate and how it differs from that of Brett Lawrie, the Blue Jays third baseman. He's very relaxed and very smooth at the plate, but has an explosive finish to his swing.
All good hitters have good hand-eye coordination, and they hit with their hands. Longoria does it. Brett Lawrie does it. And that's why they are able to track pitches and you just watch the ball come off their bat. I mean, it's different than the type of hitters who swing with their arms.
2 balls and a strike, 2 outs here in the first inning. Just missed downstairs. Perez anticipated that was going to be a strike, made a pretty good pitch with his fastball. 3-1. Ben Zobrist on deck. Zobrist is the DH this afternoon. He's a switch hitter.
You talk about Longoria and one of those offensive moves right here. Look at that. Since June the 20th, he's the hottest baseball player in all of baseball. 57 RBIs since June the 20th, better than anybody in all of baseball. You throw in all the home runs that Longoria has hit over that time. Got off to a very slow start.
Full count. Popped up. Playable down the right side. Long run for Bautista. Foul ground. He makes the catch. A 1-2-3 first inning for Luis Perez. For the third time against the Rays right-handed. Escobar, Thames, Bautista, top three in the order. Adam Lind, Edwin Encarnacion, Kelly Johnson, newcomer, playing second base. Brett Laurie had a home run in last night's game, the only run the Blue Jays were able to score. J.P. Arencibia, Dwayne Wise in his third stint with the Blue Jays, playing in center field.
That's the lineup that 28-year-old Jeff Neiman makes his 18th start of the season. He missed 39 games earlier this year with a lower back strain, and he's been hot lately. He had won 4 straight in a row after getting beat by Justin Verlander and the Tigers his last time out. You can see his numbers. They are outstanding. For his career, he has faced the Blue Jays 9 times. He has a .500 record, and the Jays have scored 5 or more runs in 4 of those 9 starts.
Escobar will lead things out. Escobar is 0 for 5 against big Jeff Neiman. First pitch upstairs. Neiman's 6'9", and he can present a challenge to hitters, creating a very definitive downward angle. Last 11 games for Escobar have not been good.
All of these Tampa Bay Ray pitchers, they like to work very quickly. They'll use their fastball. They'll pitch off their fastball. Throw a lot of strikes.
Escobar pops it up, and Neiman makes an easy play of it just in front of the mound.
Right into the sunlight, but Neiman makes it the play. The scouting report on big Jeff Neiman. The big advantage, you mentioned it, he's 6'9", he stays tall, and he drives that ball towards the plate. I think for him, the curve is always the key. A big player like that, maybe getting that arm into the right arm slot for that curveball. When he's throwing it for strikes, he can be tough. And again, lots of strikes, just 26 base on balls this season in his 17 starts.
Eric Thames, a couple of hits in last night's game. He went 2 for 4 off James Shields. Struck out in his final at bat.
You know, the one thing that you can say about the Tampa Bay starters, they're all polished. They get to the big leagues and they are a finished product. They come in and they throw strikes. They command their secondary pitches. They have a great idea out on that mound.
But they all have at least 4 pitches. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, insists that they all throw 4 pitches: fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. And all 5 starters can throw 4 pitches.
Very rarely will you see them take the mound and fall behind hitters and not find the strike zone. They understand themselves. There's Jim Hickey, the pitching coach for the Rays. They understand.
5th season with the Rays.
what they need to do and how to get I think they understand their bodies and their mechanics and how to get that ball in the strike zone consistently.
Base hit for Thames. Right back up the middle.
As Thames is at first base, let's take a look at the defense for the Tampa Bay Rays, and it's a good one. Sam Fuld will get the start in right field. There's a few changes this afternoon. Just his third start in right field, and Fuld has been a highlight reel in the outfield. Elliot Johnson at second base makes his third start. Sean Rodriguez with just his second. There was a late scratch right before the ball game for the Tampa Bay Rays. Casey Kochman was in the original lineup for Joe Maddon's team.
Jose Bautista, he had a rough night last night. He struck out 3 times, and after his third strikeout, he was ejected by home plate umpire Bill Wilkie. Good fastball. Bautista has had some trouble with Jeff Neiman, just 2 for 15 in his career. Once again, Neiman has the ability to create that very challenging downward plane, standing 6'9". And a drive to the gap, and that's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Off the wall. Here comes Thames around third. He's going to score. The throw is cut off. Bautista delivers an RBI double here in the first.
James Shields pitched Jose Bautista tough last night. A lot of slow breaking balls. Bautista ended up striking out 3 times this afternoon, though. Jeff Neiman's going to try and slip a fastball by him, and that's a mistake. And it's down and in, and he doesn't miss too many of those. Blue Jays catch a break as this ball stays in the ballpark. How many times have you seen the ball bounce like that and out of play, and that allow Eric Thames to come all the way around from first base to score the game's first run?
22nd double of the season for Bautista. He's now driven in 83. Closing in on that 100 RBI plateau. There goes Bautista to third. Lynn fouls it off. Boy, Lynn saw that great jump. He had to take that ball and just couldn't stop. Bautista had a running start at second.
You know, all you have to ask a hitter is, would you rather have a guy at third base and 1 out, or a guy standing at second base? He had that base stolen easily. And you have to be able to see him. You just look right over the pitcher's shoulder and you see him take off.
Yeah, first pitch in the at-bat, too. And that's why Bautista ran early. You run early so you don't put any pressure on the hitter. And he got a great jump.
Well, the element of surprise is over now. Look at the shortstop playing right behind him.
Big breaking ball upstairs and missed. Ball and a strike. 1-0 Blue Jays. Bautista with the RBI double to the wall in left center. Lind has hit well against this entire Rays staff. He's 10 for 23 with a pair of home runs against Neiman. He needs to get something going at the plate. He's had a rough month of August. Just missed a home run last night against James Shields in the 6th inning. Hit one toward the end of the bat. Looked like he got a curveball, and it was caught on the warning track in right. Pretty good cut at that fastball.
He got hit on his wrist, his right wrist, and that is the bottom hand, the strong hand, the guide hand, if you will, on your swing. He's got a padding on it. There it is right there. Anytime you get hit around the hand area, the wrist area, and you've got a little bit of an ache right there, it's tough to stop the bat. And that's one thing that we have seen from Lynn. A lot of strikeouts, and I'm just wondering if he's having trouble trying to stop the swing.
Didn't stop that swing. This is a line drive to right, off the top of the wall. Bautista had to hold up to make sure it wasn't caught. He stops at third. That was within inches of being a home run, just off the top of the fence in right.
No problem there, as Neiman tries to slip a fastball by Adam Lind again. Down and in, right into the sweet swing of Lynn. Watch Bautista. He doesn't sure if that ball, if it's going to be caught or not. Thinking about going back to tag up, so he can only advance 90 feet. But that's a good sign right there when Adam Lind is turning on fastballs like that.
First and third, one out. Already a run in. Edwin Encarnacion. Upstairs. That's not unlike the way James Shields used his fastball early in the game. He elevated the fastball and then set up all of his off-speed pitches down and away.
He also used it to push some of the right-handed batters off the plate. Saw him do that against Jose Bautista. Straighten him up, push him off the plate, and then got him out with off-speed pitches away.
Hooked foul. Neiman making his 10th career start against the Jays. He's 3-3, but the ERA over 5. They've scored 32 earned runs now. 33 earned runs. You see his numbers in 9 starts. They have hit him well.
He hooked up against Justin Verlander his last time out. He pitched into the 8th inning, but ended up getting the loss, and that stopped a 4-game winning streak that he had.
Two balls and a strike. One out. Bautista had to make sure that ball wasn't caught right, so he could only move to third base on the Lynn single off the wall. Shopping and Neiman having trouble getting their thoughts together. They're going to go through another series of signs. Popped up, shallow right field. Elliott Johnson, the second baseman, makes the catch and gets the ball to home quickly. Bautista could only go halfway. Two down. Kelly Johnson will bat. Kelly Johnson playing in his 3rd game with the Blue Jays. Had a single in 3 at-bats in last night's game. Also lined out to left field. Hit the ball very well to left, but Desmond Jennings had a nice running catch.
That's the one thing that we have heard the scouting report on Kelly Johnson. He can hit the ball all over the field. He hit it hard. He's got a nice short swing.
And he can hit a fastball. 18 home runs in a off season for him this season. He's hitting just over 200 when he was acquired by the Blue Jays. He had played the season with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he was traded for Aaron Hill and John McDonald. And again, Shopping and Neiman can get their heads together. Here's where Kelly Johnson is most dangerous, when he can sit on a fastball with a hitter's count and look for something to drive out of the ballpark. Two for 6 in 2 games with the Jays. He has faced Neiman before. He's 2 for 3 against the Rays right-hander. Kelly Johnson and Yunel Escobar were the double play combination for the Braves for a couple years, 2007, 2008 down in Atlanta. So they are reunited. Jam. Neiman takes it, and he gets out of a tough situation. He gets the pop up off the bat of Encarnacion, and the comebacker to the mound. But Bautista puts the Jays out in front. day for kids and adults alike. Loretta Rogers and a special group of people were on hand before the game signing copies of their newly released children's book, Larry the Loon. And they got a chance to sign an awful lot of the books here at Rogers Center. And we are now very pleased to be joined by Loretta Rogers, the wife of the late Ted Rogers. Loretta, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you. It's a thrilling day, and I'm delighted to be here, and so are the rest of the Larry the Loon team.
Tell us how Larry the Loon came about and how this book came together.
Well, last summer, a year ago, there was a loon who'd been injured on Lake Rosso, Muskoka. And so Bernie Gossowitz and his family actually found it first. And we were feeding it and looking after it. It had obviously a broken wing, broken leg, so it couldn't fly and it couldn't dive to feed. So we got to know it very well, and normally you can't get anywhere near a loon, but this one you can hand feed.
And then everybody became acquainted with Larry the Loon, and then the story came about. How did you decide to turn Larry the Loon into a beautiful book?
Well, Judith McMurray, who wrote it, is a good friend of all of us, the artist and myself, who's an artist, but he sort of captured our imagination, so we got together as a group and decided to do this book with real art and everything. And then one of the kids said, oh, but we have to have a picture of him at the doctor, the vet. So we thought, who could do a good one of that? So Andy Donato did that one for us, which is a fabulous cartoon with Dr. Gossowitz as the vet.
And the proceeds to the book are going where?
They're going to the Canadian Wildlife Federation to help loons and to give awareness of it. People don't realize that they do so many things that actually are very detrimental to wildlife. Like, you shouldn't hit them with a boat, but also when you take a boat in too close to the shore where there's reeds and everything, that's where they nest, and they nest down at water level. So their nest can get destroyed or their eggs damaged, or if the babies have hatched, they can, because they don't swim or anything really when they're just born, they get drowned, and there's a huge loss from people not being aware of what hurts wildlife.
It's very interesting because the loon obviously is such a rich part of Canadiana, and I spent a lot of time up north, Algonquin Park, on a canoe trip, and to see loons and hear them at night more than anything, I think that's what means so much to people, that we can put an effort together to protect these birds.
Yeah, they have a very haunting cry. They actually have more than one sound they make, and to a loon, each different one means something. I don't know what's what. And we did a page of facts, like how long they've been in the world, how many millions of years, a long time. And they can fly 72 miles an hour, which you get a speeding ticket for that if you go in the car that fast.
See, I was explaining all these things to Pat earlier, and he thought I was nuts, but you're right, they can really fly, and they're gorgeous. Beautiful bird.
But they run on, they can't just take off. They have to run on the water to get up speed, then they can fly.
What about your artistic talents? This picture in here is gorgeous, and how did you get started painting?
Well, I always liked art when I was in school, and then I got a degree in art and math. Then I went to arts in the States, actually. Then I went to art school in England. Then I married Ted, and we had 4 children, and that delayed the painting for a little while. Then I went back to painting.
Well, good for you, and we're pleased you are, because we have seen some of the artwork in here. And talk about the group of friends that got together and decided. I mean, there's a large group of people that made the contribution to this book.
Yeah, they've all been great. We've been painting for 6-7 years. Doug Dunford is the big name, professional from Muskoka, who's got big reputation. And then there was Susan Gossowitz, who's here today, who's an artist, myself, Andy Donato, Karen Genovese could not be, and Darcy Sills, who's also from Muskoka originally, paints with us. And we have 2 junior artists. Doug's son, Simon, who's now 16, I think. And Judy, who wrote the book, her granddaughter, who is now 9, but the painting in the book she did, I think she was still 8.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she's really, really good. And we just have a great time working together.
Well, it's great and it's appropriate that you were here on a Junior Jays Day when the kids are involved. That ball just pops up into foul ground. Lynn now shading his eyes a little bit, makes the catch in fair territory. Tell us about Kerwin Friesen. He threw out the first pitch today, and it was an honor for him. How did he factor into this book?
Well, we'd had 5,000 copies printed. And we ran out in a few weeks, actually, really before its first launch. So it was of SOS, because we'd said we'd be here. And he pulled some books, I think, that were supposed to delay them a bit and put this run in for us. And he wanted to come, and he really wanted to throw out the first pitch. So I said, because they'd said, but I want to do it. I said, no, I think Kerwin should do it.
That's great. And as he does often, Ricky Romero was there to take the first pitch. And tell us about, you're all decked out in Blue Jays outfits, and I'm sure Ted would be very pleased where the organization is headed now with all the youngsters coming up, especially Brett Lawrie coming up. A Canadian looks to be a budding star.
Which would be great. Well, Ted would love to be here, and obviously. And he had great faith in the Blue Jays and in the potential, and that they would get stronger and stronger, as I think they have been.
Yeah, things are certainly on the upswing right now. And so many young kids, it's awfully encouraging.
Yeah, and I think Ted's famous phrase, the best is yet to come, is very appropriate in this field.
With all the young kids that the Blue Jays have.
B.J. Upton is thrown out. That ends the inning. Mrs. Rogers, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck with the book, and we hope it sells out and you protect an awful lot of those loons.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
Your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Beautiful day here in Toronto, and the CN Tower looming high above Rogers Center. Brett Lawrie will lead things off here in the second. Blue Jays lead it 1-0. Scored a single run on 3 hits in the first. Jose Bautista driving in his 83rd run of the season. For every home run Toronto hits in today's game, you could win amazing prizes from Sharp, including Canada's largest LCD TV, a 70-inch Sharp Aquos. Enter online at hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp makes bigger, better. Brett Lawrie is certainly capable of hitting a home run. He hit his 4th home run in the 2nd inning in last night's game. Takes a strike right at the knees. Pretty impressive run for Brett Lawrie. He's playing in his 21st game since being called up from AAA. 9 extra base hits in his last 14 games. Fooled by a breaking pitch, and he strikes out. First strikeout of the afternoon for Jeff Neiman.
Number 9,
J.P. Arancibia, the average not where he would like it, but he's certainly been productive. 20 home runs, 60 RBI. He is third on the team in runs driven in.
I asked him the other day about that 20th home run. Was he pressing just a little bit, knowing that the next home run that he hits would tie a team record? He said no, because I expect to hit more than 20 home runs. I know what my game is. It's drive in runs, power the ball over the fence if I can. And he's not even thinking about the records. He's thinking about doing what he does best, and that's hitting home runs.
He had a great start to his big league career when he debuted against Tampa Bay last year. Had 4 hits and 2 home runs in his major league debut, August 7th, 2010. Just the second player in major league history.
He's got a natural uppercut swing that helps him get the ball in the air, and he'll hit those type of home runs. I think the next phase and the next step there are the home runs coming out swinging by rookies. Eric Hinske has the team record with 24. Arancibia just 4 behind him, and I think he'll go ahead and set that record if he gets hot again. But I think the next step for J.P. Arancibia in his development as a hitter is being able to have a better 2-strike approach.
Yeah, he certainly has the power where he doesn't have to wind up to hit home runs. Goes off to that high fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Neiman here in the second.
Yeah, this is what I mean with 2 strikes, being able to cut down your swing just a little bit more and stay in the strike zone. He certainly has the talent, I think, and he'll get that batting average up. I think the more experience he has being around the league, knowing the pitchers just a little bit more, he's going to be a dynamic force, I think, offensively.
Dwayne Wise, in his 3rd stint with Blue Jays, now 33 years old. He broke into the big leagues with the Jays back in 2000. On the ground. Elliott Johnson throws out Dwayne Wise, a 1-2-3 second inning. 2 complete here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays have an early lead. Has won his first major league start. He went 6 innings in a scoreless game, and leading off the top of the 7th, Jose Bautista hit a home run, the only run of the ball game. But Perez was great in his first start.
He was on a pitch count that day, about 75 pitches. He just got over that Looking at the ground ball outs, 9 of them in those 6 innings, that really speaks to how much movement he has within the strike zone. And what I mean by that is, as a hitter, you see the ball coming in, and then right when it gets to the strike zone, it just dives. Goes down and away to the right-handers. He can slide that ball away from the left-handers. You'll get a lot of ground ball outs when you're throwing like that.
Kelly Shopik, the catcher, will step in. Shopik batting 177. This is the aspect of this lineup we talked about. 3 hitters in the bottom of the order hitting under 200. But they're making a postseason run. They have closed ground on the front runners. They are 8.5 back in the AL East. Joe Madden sporting the fancy glasses here this afternoon.
Does anybody do as much with the type of talent that he has than Joe Madden?
No, I think you're right. And they have to give up costly players, the more veteran players, that their salaries get up. They have to cut them loose, like Matt Garza a year ago. Now they have a tough decision with James Shields. Do you pick up his options? He has 3 one-year options at the end of this season. And his salary is getting to the point of being burdensome to the Rays. They just don't have much money to spend.
The constant turnover has got to be maddening for managers. Year in and year out, you've got constantly new guys, bringing them in and teaching them the way that you want to play the game. I think you can do that if you've got the type of starting pitching that the Rays have, because that is the backbone of this ball club. They pitch deep into the game and covers up a lot of other weaknesses or shortcomings, if you will, in your lineup.
And Joe brings a lot of kids into camp every spring, so he knows some of the talent he has in the minor leagues and gets an idea of what's coming and what they have to do. But he came through the Angels minor league system and got to the big leagues as a coach for Mike Scioscia.
He was the head of the minor league systems for the Los Angeles Angels. Did a great job.
Sharply hit. Laurie, a 360 right on the money. Boy, look at that play right there. It doesn't seem like much, but Laurie goes to his left, catches the ball, spins around, and still remembered it was the catcher running.
And just take your time. Tremendous range for an infielder. He's got quick feet. Watch him move as soon as this ball is hit. Reach out, good hand-eye coordination to snag it, and then stay under control and make a good, strong throw across the diamond. I think he can play every infield position if he had to, just with his athleticism. He's got quick feet, good hands.
Brian Butterfield and Luis Rivera, who work with the infielders on this team, noticed a dramatic improvement in his technique at third from spring training to when they first saw him after the call-up.
At times he was getting too low in spring training, and that just prohibits you from being able to move laterally. They have him upright just a little bit more so he can move quicker. And whenever the pitch is on its way, if you watch him, he's always moving. He's got good actions down there at third base.
There's timing for a fielder just like there is for a batter. And you have to be able to time the contact point. There's a good example of that. You want to be on the ground when you anticipate that ball being struck by the bat, because you don't want to be up in the air,
right,
because then you have to come down and make your move. But you want to be on the ground in an athletic position to initiate your movement when the ball is put into play.
On your toes. It's like a defender in basketball who is playing defense. He's down in an athletic position. And watch him get ready as Perez winds up. He's on the move.
Knocked down by Lind. It is right there, but they're not going to have a shot at Elliott Johnson. It's a base hit for Johnson, the first hit for Tampa Bay this afternoon. Hot shot that Lind knocked down, and by the time he realized where it was, Johnson beats Perez to the bag.
Right-handed batter just slicing the ball towards you at first base. On the backhand side, Lind knocks it down, but no chance. Get the ball, keep it in the infield. That's a good sign. Johnson would have been at second base.
One out. Number 9 hitter Reed Brignac. Brignac was 1 for 4 in yesterday's game. One of the casualties for Tampa Bay of the cutback in salaries was their shortstop, Jason Bartlett. They had to trade him to San Diego, so Brignac got the opportunity. Got off to a slow start, lost some playing time to Sean Rodriguez. Eventually, Elliott Johnson got in the mix, and then he got hurt.
That's one thing that Tampa has done a good job of the last couple of years. Reinforcements coming up through the minor league system. So when the big league player is reaching that certain age, free agency, or they make a little bit too much money, they can then turn around and spin that player for multiple players. And they did that with Jason Bartlett. Spun him over to San Diego and got 4 pitchers for him. But that doesn't happen unless you have someone like a Reed Brignac ready to move in at shortstop.
Well, you look at the pitchers that have made a contribution. Brandon Gomes, Cesar Ramos, and Adam Russell have all pitched in the big leagues this year, and they were the pitchers that came from San Diego. There's a liner to right. Bautista makes a shoulder high catch. 2 down. But that's what Tampa Bay has to do. They get their veteran players and they get to a certain point in their salary. Tampa Bay can't afford to keep them, so they try to pick up multiple players in those deals, and they've done a good job of that as well.
You mentioned Matt Garza, who I thought was one of the better pitchers on this staff, but they went ahead and were able to trade him to the Chicago Cubs for 5 players. Sam Fuld was one of those players. We've seen what he has done here.
Robinson Chirinos, a catcher that was with the Rays the last time the Jays faced him in Tampa Bay. Hawk Ju Lee, a shortstop that's really supposed to be a premier prospect, also came to Tampa Bay from the Cubs.
And of course, a young pitcher by the name of Chris Archer, the Cubs' best prospect from pitching wise, is now in the minor league system for Tampa. I'm sure we'll see him in the next year or two.
Desmond Jennings has the count in his favor, 2-0. Base runner's not a problem for Luis Perez. Having pitched out of the bullpen, he's often worked out of the stretch, and that's where he did most of his work. So having a base runner on is nothing new for him.
Stealing bases is tough against Perez. He's very quick to the plate. You see the step off move right there. But he doesn't have the high leg kick or the very slow move towards home. Picks his foot up and goes right to the plate.
There have only been 3 steal attempts against Perez all season long. Three and 0. Jennings has some pop. He has 6 home runs and just 121 at bats. There's a strike right on the inside corner. He's a little bit like Brett Lawrie in his ability to get extra base hits and also knock the ball out of the ballpark. Since Jennings has come up to the big leagues, 32 games, he has 8 doubles, 3 triples, and 6 home runs. And he takes a walk.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Back here at Rogers Center, first and second, 2 outs. The right fielder, Sam Fuld, a left-handed batter. You can see Aaron Sebe and Perez exchanging thoughts about Fuld and the base runner at second. Always got to remind pitchers of the series of signs you'll give with a runner at second. First time the Rays have had a base runner in scoring position this afternoon. First pitch breaking ball. Would you say that's the biggest improvement in Perez since the first time we saw him in Boston, the breaking ball?
Yeah, the slider. It's been a good work for him. In the minor leagues, it really wasn't a big pitch. He was basically fastball changeup. He'd throw a little bit of a wrinkle breaking ball. But now the slider, it's much better. It's come a long way. And when he gets out in front and snaps it off, it's pretty good.
Now they're set. Fastball fouled off. Perez signed in 2003, late in the summer of 2003, but did not pitch until 2005. He had an elbow problem early on. He was an outfielder as a kid, and he said he weighed about 160 pounds and just couldn't hit the ball very well, didn't run well. So recognized that a strength of his was his arm and converted into a pitcher.
Oh, I like his mound presence and his mechanics. Everything stays together.
Full went too far, chased the breaking ball, and Perez will get out of the inning. Ends the third inning with a couple on base with a strikeout. His first strikeout of the afternoon comes at a perfect time. Them the bullpen savers, because as starters this season they have done a great job of pitching late into the game and minimizing the work that the bullpen has to provide.
Take a look at their ages and then take a look at how they get deep into the ball game. James Shields averaging pitching into the 8th inning, all the way down to Jeremy Hellickson, who averages into the 7th inning. And we talked about it last night that the Rays are working on a consecutive streak of starters throwing at least 7 innings. 11 consecutive games that they have done that, and it starts right there on the mound with those big pitchers.
First time since 2003 that a major league team has had 11 straight starts of 7 or more innings from their starters. Jim Hickey deserves a lot of credit for that. He's the pitching coach. He's in his 5th season with the Rays, and he's been to the postseason 4 of his 7 years as a pitching coach. He has a dramatic impact on his pitching staffs. Jim Hickey was with the Houston Astros before coming here. He played with the White Sox, also a pitcher, but he does a great job of preparing his staff. In this day and age, Pat, let me ask you this. Starters are often enamored by the quality start. We've seen 2 organizations now get away from that, the Texas Rangers and the Tampa Bay Rays. They're really pushing their starters to finish what they start.
Here's the problem I have with the quality start. It's 6 innings. I mean, if I'm a manager, I certainly would want my starter to go farther than 6 innings. And if you have your starter looking over your shoulder, looking at pitch counts, and, well, if I can only get 6 innings, I think they should go to the mound and think about 9 innings every single time. James Shields certainly does it. It's a good fastball right there from Neiman as he puts away Escobar. He's now struck out 3 out of the last 4 batters. Come back fastball right on the outside corner. UNL can just look at it. But you're right. The pitch counts have kind of, Texas has forgotten about it. We saw it last night. James Shields, 125 pitches to finish out that 10th complete game.
Yeah, you go to the mound with the mindset of, this is my game. I'm going to leave this game when the game has been decided, one way or another. Don't leave the outcome in the balance. And that's the old-fashioned mindset. You hear guys like Tom Seaver and Bob Gibson and late Don Drives, they say, this is my game. I'm starting it and I'm finishing it. I only get to play once every 5 days. Another good hook. 1-2 to Thames. But I applaud both Texas and Tampa Bay for putting that mindset in their pitcher's head. Tampa Bay's had success. Jim Hickey's been here for a while now, and he's saying this is what we do. Prepare yourself to pitch 9 innings.
You know, I certainly understand about pitch counts in the low minor leagues when you've got 18-year-old kids, 19-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids. The Tampa Bay Rays have, and for the most part Texas, they've got big leaguers, big kids who've been there.
B.J. Upton coasts back. He's got plenty of room in center. Thames is retired. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, you hope Boston can play the second game of that doubleheader there at Fenway. When you look at the postponements, New York Yankees at Baltimore, they had a doubleheader scheduled today, but because of the threat of Hurricane Irene along the Atlantic coast, they have canceled their game. Atlanta at New York Mets, that's been canceled, as has the Florida Marlins and Philadelphia Phillies. So the East Coast is preparing for Hurricane Irene. I applaud the baseball organizations for being proactive. Just make sure you don't get people in a vulnerable position, bringing them to the ballpark and then having something hit with the weather.
You know, it's going to cause some trouble probably at the end of the year. Those games between the Yankees and the Orioles, they're going to mean something.
Atlanta's games. They're going to have an impact for sure. Philadelphia got a comfortable lead, but still it's going to have an impact in Atlanta's fortunes. But you can't mess with Mother Nature. It's an inside breaking ball. He tried that front door breaking ball, but it bent around the inside corner. We are keeping our eye on Hurricane Irene. Took something off. 3-1 changeup in a good spot.
He remembers that double that Jose Bautista hit in the first inning. It was a fastball down and in. So he goes to the soft stuff.
Bautista made an adjustment and sat back and waited for another off-speed pitch. Another front door breaking ball missed. Bautista takes another walk. This walk coming with 2 outs. Adam Lind was within inches of hitting his 23rd home run in his first at bat. Drilled it off the top of the fence in right. Joe Madden has always been very aggressive in his defensive alignments, and once again it's reflected by second baseman Elliott Johnson. He is shading Lynn DePool in deep. The shortstop Reed Brignac and Evan Longoria basically straight away for a left-handed hitter. Driven to center field, but B.J. Upton breaks it down, makes the catch in front of the scoreboard in left. Blue Jays strand another base runner, but they have a 1-0 lead after 3 complete. Sitting in the front row, and I hope they have their sunscreen out today because it is a bright sunny day here at Rogers Center. Moments ago, before the Blue Jays took the field defensively, Jose Bautista is talking with Dwayne Wise and Eric Thames at the top of the steps near the dugout. Once again, doing his thing as the leader of this ball club.
Doesn't miss a beat with everything. This is probably about defensive alignment, how they want to play certain batters this inning. You got to communicate with everybody all the time.
Well, Bautista played with Wise last year. Dwayne Wise played with Blue Jays 52 games last summer. So he's been reunited with him again here this afternoon. Wise is a good player. He can play all 3 outfield positions. He has a strong arm. He's made 70 career starts in center field. He has 19 career assists. He had a career high 5 assists for the Blue Jays in 2002.
He had one of the best games I've ever seen of a Blue Jay in Yankee Stadium last year. I think every play that was important, he was involved in it.
Threw out a couple of runners at the plate.
Hit a home run. Got a hit off of Mariano Rivera. It's a good pickup.
Yeah, it is a good pickup, and you can see there's the impact of that conversation. Let's slide over the other way now. It's 3-0, a pull situation for Longoria. And he takes a 4-pitch walk. That'll start the 4th for Tampa Bay. Perez has walked 3 this afternoon. But he's got the ability to get that ground ball. Ben Zobrist so far in this series has gone 0 for 5. Blue Jays have pitched Zobrist tough all season long. There's that sinking fastball. He rolls over him. Zobrist hitting just 163 against the Blue Jays this season, but he has 3 home runs. One of those home runs was a game winner here early in the season off Ricky Romero in the first. A 2-run home run, the only runs of a ball game.
He's come up with some very big hits, walk-off hits for the Rays against the Blue Jays this year. That's what he's going to have to do with that sinking fastball. Try and shoot it the other way. He's got extra base pop in his bat. 42 doubles this year for Zobrist. That's just 5 off the team record.
Zobrist was acquired in a trade from Houston in July of 2006. Mitch Talbot and Aubrey Huff were sent to the Astros for Ben Zobrist, and boy, at the time, didn't look like much of a deal for Tampa Bay.
Well, that's why I love those minor leaguers thrown in there. You just don't know what you're going to get. A couple years later, you got an all-star.
Well, he's a good player too, and gives Joe Matt just what he likes: versatility. He can play infield, outfield, and he's a switch hitter.
And he can run. 15 stolen bases to go along with 15 home runs.
Looped foul down the left side. Talbot was then sent from Tampa Bay to Cleveland for Kelly Shoppach, so they really took advantage of that Houston deal. Take a look at the AL leaders. Ben Zobrist leads the American League and the major leagues with 42 doubles. Jeff Francoeur, we just saw him with the Royals. He and Alex Gordon in the top 5. Adrian Gonzalez. How about Michael Young's season? He just didn't miss a beat. They lost Adrian Beltre against the Jays when they were in Arlington with that hamstring injury. He's still not made it back, but Michael Young has picked up the slack for them at third.
Remember in spring training, well, you're going to trade Michael Young, you're going to get rid of him, you're going to make him a super utility player. I'm sure they're happy they've held on to him.
Isn't that something we heard, how Michael Young was upset? He didn't like the deal. Well, yeah, he didn't like the deal. He wants to play every day. He doesn't want to be a DH.
Right.
Ended up getting his 2000th hit this year.
You know what? It always works out
Yep.
in baseball. It always comes out in the laundry.
2-2. Line to center. Wise turns. This ball is well over his head and off the wall. Longoria is being stopped at third. Kelly Johnson gets the ball back into Lynn. But Zobrist drilled it. His 43rd double of the season.
Extra base hits. He's got 64 of them now. You might think, well, I can get a fastball by him. He's got some pop in that bat. Second hit of the inning. This ball is smoked to center field. Blaine Wise gets turned around a bit. Short hops the wall in center field. Longoria had to wait to make sure that that ball was going to land safely, and that's why he cannot score from first base on that double. Sets up a big inning for the Rays.
Middle of their order. B.J. Upton goes after the first pitch. This is an interesting player. As talented physically as anybody in the game. He can run, he can throw, he can hit with power. But look at the average, 223. And he's just hit 196 against left-handed pitching this year.
That is surprising, being a right-handed batter. And I think it all stems from that front foot. He just can't get it down in time. And he's got a lot of emergency swings, hacks. When the ball's right on top of him, he does a little thing where he picks up his back heel. And he's on that toe a little bit too long. And fastballs beat him.
And then he gets in between and can't pull the trigger on a hittable fastball.
Breaking balls, we saw it yesterday, just didn't look good or smooth against some of those breaking balls. There's his numbers in scoring position, but you're right, he can field, throw, hit, got power.
Everything came together for Upton in 2007 when he hit 300 with 24 homers and drove in 82. Fouls that one off. Then the next year he was knocked down with shoulder injuries. Didn't have but 9 home runs. Shoulder problems really cropped up, but boy, did he come through in the postseason. Against the White Sox in 4 games in a division series, he hit 3 home runs. And then against the Red Sox in the 7-game ALCS, he hit 4 home runs. And it looked like, okay, BJ's finally figured it out. But then Philadelphia shift gears on him in the World Series, and he was just 5 for 20 with 1 ribby. And here he strikes out in a big situation. Second and third, nobody out. Perez gets a strikeout. A good breaking ball down and in.
In between, and again, late swing. Front foot does not get down, and he's got to hurry up and try and get that bat through. You see the 2-part swing, and that's just not getting everything into it. You're not seeing the ball when you have a swing like that.
When you have that much movement, your eyes obviously are going to move, and then the ball starts to bounce around. Sean Rodriguez is a threat to bunt in this situation. He can push the bunt. He can drag the bunt. I know it's early, but Tampa Bay likes to take advantage of these scoring opportunities. Aaron Sebia came out of the chute like he was going to pick off Longoria at third. Rodriguez popped up to the first baseman.
Average at 211, but he's more about hitting left-handed pitching. Platooned early in the season, won a starting job at shortstop for a while, now back into the platoon facing the left-handers.
Looks like Perez is trying to crowd Rodriguez the same way he pitched BJ Upton, especially in this situation with a chance to drive in a couple of runs. Hitters generally look out over the plate. Doing the changeup.
I'd just go ahead and put him on right here. 3-0. First base open. You got a guy who's a candidate for a double play ball on deck.
Kelly Shopik, the catcher, is on deck. We certainly don't want to give Rodriguez a good ball to hit here. Fair ball just inside the bag at third, and the fan reaches over and catches the baseball. 3-0 green light. Tampa Bay has had trouble scoring, so Joe Maddon's going to give Rodriguez the opportunity to turn it loose.
You have to with runners in scoring position. You throw one of those fastballs right down the middle. Again, he's very good against left-handers this year, Rodriguez, so he's going to let him go. Try and knock in a couple of runs, and that one's right in the middle of the plate. And it'll score a couple of runs. That ball hooked right over the bag down the left field line. A couple of RBIs. That's why I would have put him on.
That's not a good pitch, obviously. Not because he hit a 2-run double, but because of the situation, and you spoke of it before it happened. 3-0 count to Rodriguez. You got a base open, and you've got a catcher doesn't run well in Kelly Shopik, and they played right into the Rays' hand. Good changeup. Shopik was out in front. Tampa Bay has taken a 2-1 lead here.
Some people might say, well, it's the 4th inning. Why are you walking the guy?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the averages down in the bottom of this lineup. 177, 180, 192. They're hitting down there for a reason. There goes Rodriguez to third. Aaron Sebia's throw right on the money. JP's gunned down 2 base runners here this afternoon. That was a strong throw. And Laurie was waiting for Rodriguez at third.
JP was out here early this homestand with Don Wakamatsu working on this right here, coming out quickly and accurately. They're working on transferring the ball from the glove to the hand, making a good throw, making an accurate and quick throw. And that's picture perfect right there, right on the bag, and let Brett Lawrie do the rest.
It really helps the catcher when you look up and your third baseman is straddling the bag. I mean, it really gives you a good feeling of confidence. And Kelly Shopik strikes out an inside fastball, but Sean Rodriguez delivered a 3-0 green light double. And here's another strong throw from Aaron Sebia to nail Rodriguez at third. fans, every time Toronto hits a home run in the 4th inning, someone will win a 40-inch Aquos Quattron TV and Blu-ray player. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp Aquos makes bigger, better. And we're going to send Edwin Encarnacion up in the 4th inning until he hits one. Last night, he led off the 4th inning. You can see it's Junior J Saturday here at Rogers Center. A lot of kids coming out. There will only be 3 more Junior J Saturdays in the season schedule here at home. Great day for the kids after the game to get to run the bases, and they get 50% off their tickets. Edwin Encarnacion now with the Blue Jays trailing Jeff Neben and the Rays 2-1. He pulled that changeup down and away. Blue Jays saw Neiman on May 6th, and we had a pretty good idea something was wrong. He really struggled in his 4 innings of work. Gave up 6 hits, 3 earned runs, gave up a home run, and after that, he was taken out of that game with back problems. He went on the disabled list shortly after that on May 6th.
He was very tentative in that game. You could see him. You know, he just couldn't finish his pitches. And he was bending over right there. Just couldn't finish it. But since that DL, he missed 39 games while he was on the disabled list. He won 7 games in a row before Verlander beat him. A couple of no decisions in there also. He's more about moving the ball around the strike zone, put the ball in play, not at high strikeout totals. He did have 10 against the Boston Red Sox a couple of games ago. Put the ball in play, sink the ball a little bit, throw a good breaking ball.
2-2 curveball. Encarnacion lays off. Full count. On the 5th of August, Neiman went up against Oakland at home in St. Petersburg and pitched 8 2/3 and absolutely overmatched the heart of their order. Matsui, Willingham, and Connor Jackson just overpowered him. That's a good walk by Encarnacion. That borderline high fastball he lays off. Second walk issued by Neiman this afternoon. We talked about the Blue Jays not running as effectively in the second half as they did in the first half. But here's a situation with Johnson at the plate, left-handed batter. You can start Encarnacion. He's a good base runner. Not a straight base stealer, but you can play hit and run right here.
I agree with that. Left-handed batter, he'll concentrate and put the ball in play. I'd give him one shot now to try and pull a ball through that hole on the right side. Tom Wakamatsu is the manager this afternoon as John Farrell still down with walking pneumonia.
Farrell was in the clubhouse earlier this morning, checking on his team, making sure everything was okay. Sure had some instructions for Wakamatsu, but then returned home just to try to rebuild his strength and regain the stamina he needs to manage. Hopefully just another day or so. Bouncing ball, step on the bag, throw to second, tag at second, and the ball came out of the glove. Marty Foster, the second base umpire, as Brignac was saying, you know what, I was taking the ball out of my glove, but I don't think Brignac had his bare hand close to his glove.
No, you're absolutely right. He tagged him. It looked like it got him on the shoe, but as on the follow-through, the ball was kicked out. Rodriguez, a middle infielder playing first base for just the second time, goes to around the horn, and you can see right there, he tagged Encarnacion on the foot, and then when he went to show him he had it in the webbing, popped out. It's a good call.
Marty Foster standing right on top of the play. Brignac was trying to argue, hey, I had control of it, but you've got to physically go in there with your bare hand. And in the act of pulling the ball out of the glove, then if you drop it, more than likely he would have gotten the call. Encarnacion at second. Brett Lawrie takes a curveball for a strike. Lawrie struck out on a hook his first time up. This is a challenging pitching staff because of the ability of all their starters to throw multiple pitches.
In any count.
That ball is drilled down the left field line, but it is a foul ball. Lawrie last night in his first at bat in the second inning.
Fastball down and in, and he's so quick through the strike zone. The ball jumps off his bat. Home run number 5 for Brett Lawrie. Impressive. He's going to have to battle now, being down 0-2. Not real familiar with Jeff Neiman.
His first time batting against Neiman. Breaking ball just foul. Longoria was hugging the line at third, and that off-speed pitch just bounced foul outside of third.
You've got the whole infield now starting to pull over on an off-speed pitch because they recognize how quick Brett Lawrie is. Look at the left side of the infield. It's going to be tough to get a ball past those two. Big hole right back through the middle.
Another 1-2 pitch. Change up is bounced in the dirt. You know, that's a pretty exaggerated defensive alignment when you haven't seen a hitter very often. I know they have video and they watched him, but you haven't seen him hit against your pitchers. He's a pull hitter. There's no question about it, but he's got 5 hits to the opposite field as well.
All they have to go on are the at-bats that they saw last night and how other teams pitched them.
Full count.
Since August the 5th, top sluggers. This speaks to the extra base pop that we have seen in his bat.
You know what I like about that list? The youth. Lawrie, Avila, Longoria, Wieters. All young guys starting out in their career, coming on strong late in the season. Another curveball. Neiman comes right back to his bread and butter and gets Lawrie for a second time, this time looking at a quick hook.
And I think he'll put that one in his memory banks, and if that situation comes up again against Jeff Neiman and it gets to 3-2, he'll know that he can throw his breaking ball for a strike, and he'll be ready for it next time. It's a good pitch.
J.P. Arencibia chased a high fastball. He struck out back in the second. First pitch changeup. Neiman, recognizing Arencibia's aggressive approach, starts him out with that change of pace.
Yeah, you recognize a batter is anxious at the plate. You don't go hard. You go softer.
Shopik does a great job of squaring up on that curveball. Of course, you have the advantage. You know you call the curveball. If it's going to give you trouble, it's going to be to the right. So you put your weight on your left leg and make sure you can move that right foot quickly out to the side.
And just get a piece of it.
Cutting action on that fastball. Took the ball to the end of the bat. 1-2. base hit down the left field line. Encarnacion's headed for home. Arancibia will get to second on the double. Ball bounced into the seats. JP delivers a 2-out double. RBI number 61. We're tied at 2.
That's why I think over time JP Arancibia can be a pretty decent hitter. 270, 275 hitter because he's got plate coverage and he can hit all the pitches. Struck out last time with a high fastball. Neiman tries to go breaking ball on him this time, but he's ready. Right down the left field line, bounces it into the stands. Encarnacion scores easily, and we're all tied up.
It had to help Arancibia to see that curveball to Brent Loree for the strikeout. Had that in the back of his mind that might be the pitch that he gets from Jeff Neiman. Dwayne Wise grounded to second his first time up. That cut fastball right in on his hands. I mentioned Wise in his third stint with the Blue Jays. He came up with the Jays originally in 2000. And then last year played in 52 games. Change him right at the bottom of the zone. Blue Jays have tied it up here in the bottom of the fourth. JP Arancibia, a 2-out RBI double. This is his 15th double of the season. Wise strikes out, another high fastball. Neiman gets out of the fourth, but the Blue Jays have tied it after 4. It's 2-2. Now it's time for a connected update. Here's Jamie and Greg live in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio here at Rogers Center. Three great ways to ensure you're always connected with the Blue Jays. BlueJays.com, Facebook.com/Blue Jays, and another good pitching duel going on here. Remember, this is the 13th game these two teams have played this season. Tampa Bay leads the season series 8-4, but 10 of the 12 previous games have all been decided by 2 runs or less.
These games are some of the most entertaining games when these two teams match up. You have come from behind wins, you have walk-off wins. It's so tight. when these two get together.
You can see the batting averages for both teams reflect how well the pitchers work in this series.
Unfortunately for the Blue Jays, they've lost 8 of those games. This seems like the Rays just have a little bit more to figure out a way to win the ball game.
Now, the Rays have a little bit better pedigree right now. When you consider they've been to the postseason, they played in the World Series in 2008, and they have their sights set on the postseason. As we speak, they trail the front-running Boston Red Sox by 8.5. They are 7.5 behind the New York Yankees. So the wild card picture is one that they are focused on.
It's going to be tough, though.
Lowering. What a play. Seems like we say that every day. That ball was hit to his backhand side. And Brian Butterfield has worked hard on refining his defensive technique.
Stay low, get your glove down, and keep it down. And that's exactly what he does. And then that looks like Scott Rowland right there. That throw right chest high across the diamond from right up top. That makes it so easy for the first baseman.
1 out. Number 9 hitter is Reed Brignac. Strike 1.
You have to be quick with your feet and have good hands. And Brett Lawrie certainly has that as he makes that play. You know, you were talking about the Tampa Bay Rays and their chance to get into the playoffs. They still have to play the Texas Rangers 6 more times. Home and away series with Texas. They have Boston 7 more times. And they have the Yankees 5 more. So it's going to be tough for Joe Maddon's squad.
There's a 2-strike base hit for Reed Brignac. He was in a hole 0-2 and got a breaking pitch out over the plate, and he drilled it into right.
How many times have we said that? Major league hitters, 2-strike approach. You throw a breaking ball for a strike, and they're going to hit it hard.
Yeah, the phrase strike to ball, breaking ball is a very valid one. It starts out as a strike, but it breaks down and away. That's the one you throw with 2 strikes. You don't want to throw a breaking ball in the strike zone with 2 strikes. Base hit to right field. Desmond Jennings just poked it to right. Bautista is there quickly, and Brignac had to stop at second. Boy, Jennings just reached out and poked it past Adam Lind.
Been on base twice this afternoon and walked his last time up. Had a hole on the right side. Fastball away. Stay with it. Just hit it to the right side. You got a chance, especially on this fast turf on a sunny day. Bautista does a great job of charging that ball quickly, so Brignac can't go first and third.
Jose knew he didn't have to play awfully deep with Jennings batting. If he does go to right, chances are it's not going to be hit hard to right. More than likely be on the ground as it was right there. Sam Folt, the right fielder, shows bunt right back to Perez. It's a good bunt, but Perez is a good fielder. Runners advance, but now there are 2 outs.
Folt has 1 bunt hit this year, trying to catch the Blue Jays by surprise. Just trying to get the ball by Perez because he falls off towards the third base side. Too much backspin. Deadens the ball. Perez can make the play.
So Folt moves the runners up before Perez pitches to Longoria. He's going to get a visit from the pitching coach, Bruce Walton.
And this is a good idea, I think. The way Evan Longoria has been swinging the bat, you just want to go out there and talk to him. Don't give him anything good to hit. If you want to walk him, they might be talking about putting him on first base.
I don't know that I would do that just now, but you can see Walton is equally conversing with the catcher. But with Perez today, he has 3 walks already. And I think when you're dealing with a young pitcher, you don't want to say anything negative, like don't let this guy hurt you, don't let this guy hit a mistake. You always say, listen, if you make your pitch down and away, you're going to get this guy out. But you have to give him a game plan and take the responsibility out of their hands, and that's what Walton did there with that visit.
Would he give Luis Perez the option if he wants to pitch to him or not, or would he keep that in his hand because he's such a young starter?
I think Bruce Walton would take the responsibility of this at bat. Said, listen, here's what I want you to do here.
And if you make your pitch and you get beat, so be it.
Down and away. Longoria is a great low ball hitter. And right now, he's hot. He's got 24 home runs.
You know what else this does when you have a young pitcher throw to a good hitter, a hot hitter? You get him out. What do you think his confidence level is going to do?
Sky high.
Yeah, it's going to go right through the roof.
It's not unlike what John Farrell did with Perez in his last start. Let him work out of a tough situation. He got a ground ball double play to get out of the 6th. Ball on the strike. Just missed the outside. Longoria last night, a pair of long balls.
Yeah, he's a good low ball hitter. That one was down. He sends it to left center field. It's a breaking ball that's down also. Keeps his hands back and unloads on it into center field. 24 home runs now for Longoria.
Chris Walton, more than anything, probably said, listen, let's just stay with your fastball and changeup. Don't try to force a breaking ball in this situation. Now it's 3-1, and they're going to put him on. You get to 3-1 to a good hitter like Longoria, no reason to give him a couple of free swings. So they put him on. They'll start with a fresh count to Ben Zobrist. Zobrist hit a double his last time up. But I agree with that strategy. Got a base open, 3-1 count.
Yeah, don't even mess with him.
Clean the slate. Longoria, George Hendrick talking about Perez, I'm sure, what he saw in that at bat. Bases loaded, 2 outs. First pitch strike. You just really put a pitcher in a positive situation when you give him a fresh count. Instead of him worrying about a 3-1 pitch, maybe even a 3-2 pitch to Longoria, he goes strike 1 to Zobrist.
Last time out, they wanted to get about 75 pitches from Ben Zobrist. There are his numbers, his career numbers with the bases loaded, pretty decent at 410. He is now, Perez, getting close to 90. So this might be his last inning.
Up and away. Sean Camp starts to loosen up. Have to recognize that Perez is making just his 2nd start of the season. Pop back out of play. 2-2. Physically, it's just an awful lot to ask for a guy that's been relieving in the big leagues. He didn't start in the minors. Take a look at this catch by a fan as that ball is fouled back. Had his glove standing by ready. He's recognized for his efforts. Good cut right there by Zobrist.
You know, I think this is the pitch right here that Luis Perez wants to get Zobrist out with. He doesn't want to go to 3-2 and the runners start taking off. And he'll have to throw a strike. Ball out on the field in left field. So timeout. So that'll give J. Pierre and CB a chance to go out and make sure they're all on the same page.
92 pitches. Perez threw 80 pitches in his last start. Went with the slider on 2-2 and strikes out Ben Zobrist. He strands the bases loaded as he gets out of the fifth. Pitched around Evan Longoria and strikes out Ben Zobrist. Four strikeouts, but this is the biggest pitch of the game so far for the Blue Jays. Bases loaded, 2-2 pitch to Zobrist. Perez strikes him out with the slider and gets congratulations, and that's generally the end of the day for the starting pitcher.
Yeah, he came back after Zobrist had a nice hack on a 2-2 fastball that he fouled back. Here and Sevilla changes up with him, throws the slider. That was the pitch they needed to get the strikeout with, and he comes through with a good one.
And you could see Perez's reaction. He said, "That's it? I've got more left." The Wakamatsu pointed to his shoulder and said, "Yeah, you've thrown enough." They want to protect him for the long haul, but what an effort by Perez. Escobar 0 for 2. Ducks out of the way of that high curveball. Ball on the strike. Jeff Neiman, as we mentioned earlier, former first-round pick, June of 2004. Escobar lines to the second baseman. That's the first out of the fifth. Neiman battled injuries early in his career. He came out of Rice University. He was one of 3 first-round picks off that team. But then it was a series of injuries that really slowed his career down early on. And now he has gotten over this year's problem with his back, and he's thrown the ball very well.
For a big man, and I mean he's big, at 6'9", he's got good mechanics. Helps him stay within the strike zone. A lot of moving parts, a lot of big moving parts. Today, he's not as sharp as we have seen him.
No. And he's certainly not as sharp as he was when he won 7 straight. You can see he's always loosening up that back, and that's what forced him on the DL back in May.
He's got some work to do if he's going to give 7 innings here tonight. There are all the moving parts. They're long legs, but he stays very compact, very still.
Well, that's the one thing we have heard from the Blue Jays pitching coach Bruce Walton about his young pitchers is trying to get a delivery that they can repeat. And it doesn't matter if you're 5'9" or 6'9". The mechanical aspects of how smooth your delivery is will allow you to be consistent. We've seen dramatic improvements in Brandon Morrow's delivery. Little flare into the outfield. Upton will get there. He's got great speed.
this best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
With 2 outs, Neiman will face Jose Bautista. Bautista, an RBI double his first at bat. He walked with 2 outs in the 3rd.
You know, that's the biggest thing you hear about young pitchers when they're in the minor leagues is their inconsistent mechanics. A lot of walks in the minor leagues. Well, it comes from not knowing yourself and not knowing how to throw strikes.
How much of it has to do with a young player's body maturing? When you sign at 17, 18 years old, you might weigh 175 pounds. By the time you advance, get close to the big leagues, you put on 25, 30 pounds.
That's a great point. You know, with young players like that, for me, though, it all goes back to knowing yourself.
Popped up. Kelly Shopik, the catcher, calling for it and almost squirted out of his glove. But he makes the catch. A 1-2-3 5th inning for Neiman. We've played 5 complete. It's a 2-2 game. Game Zone and chat live with Sportsnet personalities Shai Davidi and Mike Wilner, all on sportsnet.ca. Luis Perez pitches out of a bases loaded jam in the 5th. He finishes with 93 pitches. Wasn't quite as sharp as he was his first time out, but boy, did he make a good pitch to Zobrist.
Yeah, he certainly did. Different type of lineup. The Rays a little bit stronger than Oakland. And I think he pitched okay. The 4 walks were tough on him. But he made a pitch to Zobrist, a slider, to get the last out last inning with the bases loaded. Sean Camp comes in 53 games now. That is tops on the team. A 1-2 record, 477 earned run average. Throwing a save. He's had that, one of those this year.
B.J. Upton swings and misses the first pitch changeup. Sean Camp pitched 2 seasons with Tampa Bay. He actually led the Tampa Bay Rays in appearances in 2006, made 75 appearances and had a 7-4 record. Looked like a pretty good pitch, didn't get the call.
He'll be around the plates for the most part. He's had just 16 walks in his 53 games.
There's a long drive left field. It is far enough, but it is foul. B.J. Upton wasn't quite so sure it was foul. He stopped up the baseline. Now he's looking at the dugout to say, did you see what I saw? Looking for some support, and Joe Maddon's going to come out and have a look. Let's take a look at it. It is high and went into that upper deck, and Madden now scratching his head saying, Tim, are you sure that was a foul ball?
And that's the crew chief right there, Tim Cheetah, who is behind home plate, and they're going to talk about it. What was puzzling about Upton is he was down the first base line. He wasn't standing at home plate to watch that home run. But I think what he saw was the ball was fair and that it was hooking. This one will give you an idea. And watch where Upton is. He is down the line. Doesn't have a real good vantage point from home plate.
Yeah, not only was he down the line, but he was moving, but the umpires are going to take a look at it on video replay. 3 of the umpires will retire to the video room, have a look at the replay. B.J. Upton certainly hit it hard enough, but boy, it hooked a long way, and it appeared to go on the foul side of the foul pole.
Hooked late,
yeah,
too.
Here at Rogers Center, that is a net that's suspended up over that foul line, and certainly hits high enough, but boy, it appeared to be well foul there.
Yeah, does it go in front of that netting? That's what you got to look for. If it goes in front of the netting, at any point do you see the ball behind it or in front of it? Wasn't over it.
I don't know. Madden had a great view, and when you're in that first base dugout, you are absolutely looking right down the third base foul line. But I think with the way Upton reacted, Madden had to come out of the dugout to support his player, because Upton clearly thought it was fair. And I don't know if Madden really felt that it was fair or not, but he's got a great vantage point right there from that top step of the dugout.
He didn't come out until B.J. Upton said something or looked into the dugout like, are you sure? So you're right, Joe Madden had to come out to defend his player, and the umpires will take a look at it.
It's taking a long time, and you would think something as definitive as we thought. Maybe the umpires are looking at a couple of different angles, but from the replays we saw, it appeared to be foul.
Yeah, the one shot down right down the left field line.
There you see, that's the angle from the dugout. Joe Madden would have that perspective.
Take another look at that ball down the left field line. You can see it's fair, and that's what B.J. Upton sees, and it's fair, and it's fair, and then at the last minute it really starts hooking, and it looks like it's in front of the foul pole.
Foul ball. Tim Sheeta threw up his hands and signaled foul. So the umpires, using instant replay, went in and had a close look at it, and that's all you can ask. That's what the rules are for. And the umpires have the ability to review border calls, fair or foul, home run or not. 1-2, Sean Kemp, first batter. He came into the game in relief of Luis Perez. It's a 2-2 game. And now Kemp hits it.
His bread and butter pitch is the changeup. B.J. Upton has a lot of problems with sweeping sliders from right-handers, and they go with the changeup and ends up hitting them. You can see the grip in the glove from Camp, and it hits him right on the left calf.
Upton couldn't get out of the way, and it hit him on the back of that calf, and don't let that limp down the first baseline fool you. Upton can run. He has 26 steals. Not going. Rodriguez shoots it past Laurie at third into left. First and second, nobody out.
Not a bad idea. Give him one shot. I was watching Brett Laurie. He was anticipating that Sean Rodriguez was going to try and lay down a sacrifice bunt. And right when Sean Camp started unloading towards home plate, he came in. about 10 feet. And that's all Sean Rodriguez needed to get the ball by him.
Rodriguez hitting 171 against right-handed pitching. Goes after the first pitch and rips it past Laurie at third. Now you can look for the bunt. Kelly Shopping, the catcher, first and second, nobody out. Lind well in at first.
Yeah, he's got to come charge hard. Sean Camp will have the third base side.
Camp, they got a shot at third. There's the throw. Laurie, double play. Back to third. No, almost a triple play.
All right, a couple of things here. How about the heads-up play by Brett Laurie at third base, recognizing who was running at home. The ball is bunted, and Sean Camp makes a great play. The Blue Jays think they had him at third base, but the heads-up play right back to the mound, so you go to third. He has a heads-up play by rifling the ball across the diamond to get the second out, and here comes the runner Rodriguez first to third. That's a heads-up play.
Watch how quickly Laurie gets back to third. Now he's in position to take the high throw and make a strong throw. Kelly Johnson's return to third, and Laurie was standing there waiting for it. Brett Laurie is 21 years old, but he has an awareness on the field where he sees everything.
Most players would have just conceded the out at third base, and that was it. Okay, we got the out. Now let's go to the next batter. Heads up, he knows that Shopping is running. He's got a chance to get him at first base. And he does. And they almost came out with a triple play.
Rodriguez broke down toward the line, but saw Aaron Sevilla getting after that ball in the dirt. How about that double play? A 1-5-4 double play. And it was almost a 1-5-4-5 triple play.
That's being aware and being into the ball game.
Down the right side, a fair ball. Rodriguez jogs home. Bautista gets to it quickly and holds Elliott Johnson to a long single, but Tampa Bay has taken the lead. Elliott Johnson delivers his 17th RBI. He has had a couple of hits and was robbed on a fine defensive play in his other at-bat.
Started this game at 177. A couple of hits, has now pushed it up to 190. It's a big hit. 2 outs after an almost disastrous base running by the Rays. Now Rodriguez can just trot home with the tie-breaking run.
Reed Brignac, the number 9 hitter. Brignac 1 for 2. Boy, again, you can see Tampa Bay's ability to score runs without many hits. Sean Rodriguez aggressively running the bases. Snap throw to first. Kelly Johnson just beat the tag. Aaron Sevia's thrown the ball well today. He's thrown out 2 base stealers and almost picked off Johnson at first. The high throw. Johnson's back easily. Jesse Litch starting to loosen up in the bullpen. 3-2 ball game. Tampa Bay has out-hit the Blue Jays 7-4. Off-speed pitch. 1-2. Sean Camp in his first inning hit B.J. Upton to start the inning. Rodriguez singled to left, and then Kelly Shopping trying to sacrifice bunt. Bunts into a double play. And then Elliott Johnson delivered a 2-out RBI single to right.
Johnson can steal the bag.
There he goes. And Sevia didn't have a grip on the ball. Came out of the chute ready to throw, but didn't have a good grip on the baseball and chose not to take a chance of throwing it away.
Not a bad time to go right there. 2 strikes on the number 9 hitter. Johnson has some speed, and he steals the bag and gives Brignac a chance to drive him in.
5th steal of the season for Elliott Johnson. He's in scoring position. Brignac grounds it to Kelly Johnson at second. Tampa Bay takes the lead. They score a run, but what a terrific double play by the Blue Jays. Kelly Shopik, the bunt. Camp goes to third. There's 1 out. Back to first. There's 2 outs and almost 3 at third. More baseball action. Justin Verlander going for his 20th win of the season. He'll go up against Carl Romano and the Twins. And then on Sportsnet Western Pacific, you'll see the Colorado Rockies take on the Dodgers in Los Angeles. Colorado trying to make a late season surge. They've won 7 of their last 10 games, but they still remain 10 back in the National League West. You think that's a movie or a real thing?
I think it's a real thing. Somebody's getting married.
Well, you never know. You know, the Moneyball movie is going to premiere up here at the Toronto Film Festival. So I thought maybe that's part of Moneyball or something. Adam Lynn just missed a home run in his first at bat, hit the top of the fence in right field. Blue Jays are down by a run. What's new? A low-scoring, close ball game between these two clubs. Foul ball. Sean Rodriguez made it to third base on that bunt by Kelly Shopik with a head-first slide. He's making his second start at first. He's made 37 starts at second, 15 at third, and 31 at shortstop. That's like having 2 extra players.
Mm-hmm. And the Tampa Bay Rays have 2 or 3 players like that. Ben Zobrist.
He's the DH today. Elliott Johnson can play multiple positions. He's playing second, but has played a lot of shortstop this season. Sam Fuld plays all three outfield positions. They're very versatile. Fuld with speed can play all three of the outfield positions, and Elliott Johnson's a switch hitter. Versatility is one thing Joe Maddon always looks for in his players. Somebody that can play infield and outfield. Switch hitters give you other options and really put pressure on the opponents.
I think you need those type of players on your baseball team. Versatile. You might be able to carry an extra pitcher if you have that type of versatility.
When Neiman goes upstairs with that fastball and strikes out, and that starts the sixth here. Sixth strikeout for Neiman this afternoon.
Wanted this one up. Try and get Adam Lind to chase, and he does exactly that. Just can't get on top of that high fastball.
One out, Edwin Encarnacion. Let me ask you this from a hitter's perspective. You look down, down, down. Change up, breaking ball, slider, and then all of a sudden you see that fastball upstairs. Does it really catch you off guard like that?
You see fastball, first of all, and you're like, I can hit that. I know I can do it.
One hop to the shortstop, Brignac. 2 outs.
And then you see the ball up, saying, okay, this one I can handle. You start your swing, and then it just seems to rise or just stay up there, and it's hard to get on top of that ball. And you really have to discipline yourself to make pitchers get the ball down, because very rarely you see that ball hit hard or done something with. Foul back, swing right through it, pop up to center field.
And it's rarely called the strike.
That's right.
2 outs. Kelly Johnson, the second baseman, goes after the first pitch and fouls it out of play. There was a time when I first came into the American League in 1969, the umpires wore the outside chest protector. They stood straight behind the catcher, and they stood up tall. So the strike zone was letter high. That's not the case anymore. Bouncing ball. Elliott Johnson throws out Kelly Johnson. A 3 up, 3 down, 6th inning for Jeff Neiman. He has a 1-run lead. Rogers customers sign up today at RogersOnDemand.com. And if you had Rogers On Demand, you'd have seen almost a triple play turned by the Blue Jays. Brett Glory was the center of all the action. Kelly Johnson made a strong throw back to third base, but just a tad late in an attempt to get the sliding Sean Rodriguez. That would have been the triple play. Jesse Litch is the new relief pitcher. Sean Kemp pitched the 6th inning. Now Litch will take over.
You see the 18 games that Litch has pitched in this year, 10 of them has come as a reliever. This has really worked out nicely for Jesse Litch. He last pitched a couple of days ago, an inning, very clean inning versus the Kansas City Royals, a strikeout. Matches up very nicely as a reliever. You look at the numbers that he has had. He's only allowed 7 hits in those 10 games with 17 strikeouts as a reliever.
3 walks, 17 strikeouts. That's a great ratio. He was nowhere near that ratio as a starter. It simplifies his approach, knowing he's probably only going to go through the lineup one time. You don't have to mix pitches as many times as you do when you're starting. You don't have to have as wide an assortment of pitches either.
He has them all. He's got all 4 of the basic pitches that starters have. But he can attack a little bit easier. Hasn't thrown a lot of curveballs as a reliever. Not a lot of changeups. It's basically hard stuff. Hard fastball, good slider, and a good cutter.
Second relief appearance against the Rays. There's a breaking ball. That evens the count at 2-2. On the 3rd of August at Tampa Bay, Jesse Litch worked 3 1/3 out of the bullpen through hitless relief. Threw a total of 50 pitches in that outing. Emergency swing, and that's a fair ball. Boy, Desmond Jennings barely got a piece of it, but he kept it fair, and he's retired.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
1 out. Right fielder Sam Fuld. Fuld had a sacrifice bunt that moved the runners to second and third respectively. There were 2 on at the time, and he hits that one right off the top of his foot.
That's what that deadly cutter will do to a left-hander. Boy, just bury it right in on your hands. Swing the bat, and you end up hitting it right off the top of your foot. He's got a good one. Watch the action that he has on that ball. It gets down and right off the top of the shoe. You go to swing the bat, and you're like, no, don't.
A high changeup. Fuld lays off. Three and 1. You mentioned Fuld. You want to keep him off the bases. He's a threat to steal. Force him to hit his way on.
He got off to a terrific start with the Tampa Bay Rays. Got a chance to play just about every day when Manny Ramirez retired.
1 out walk. Jesse Litch is a very good fielder. So after the walk, he turns around to make sure who's got the coverage at second on the comeback. As we mentioned, Fuld is a threat to run. And Evan Longoria, he's just a threat. He's walked twice today, 1 intentional. Strike 1 with a breaking ball. Fuld 20 for 28 in steals this year. He was going.
Yeah, he was leaning. He's trying to get a walking lead out to the carpet area here at his steal percentages. Trying to time Litch, who's quick to home. Litch has done a good job of holding base runners.
Pitch out. Jesse Litch gave that away. He went too quickly after getting the pitch out sign, and his timing was a red flag to fold at first. He just rushed the pitch out.
Yeah, watch how when he comes set, it's very quick. And as a base runner, he knows exactly what that was all about.
Another thing, too, you don't want to use the slide step on a pitch out. You're trying to get the guy to run. So there's no reason, and it's counterproductive to use a slide step because you don't allow Fold an opportunity to get a jump. So if you call a pitch out, the last thing you want to do, first thing you don't want to do is throw to first.
Right.
The second thing is don't use a slide step.
Good base runners will pick up on that, and they'll just hold their ground.
2-1. It's a one-run game. We are in the 7th inning. Blue Jays took a 1-0 lead on Jose Bautista's first inning RBI double. Tampa Bay scored 2 in the 4th. Blue Jays tied it up in the bottom half of that inning. 3-1. Longoria is just 1 for 4 against Jesse Litch in their head-to-head matchup, but that one hit was a home run. Three and one out. Off-speed pitch. Jesse Litch has a pretty good feel for going back and forth on the velocity.
He does a lot of right things when he is out on the mound. You mentioned his fielding. He fields his position well. Got a good feel for pitching. Something could be happening here.
There goes Fold. Outside, Longoria takes a walk. Second walk of the inning. Ben Zobrist will bat as a left-handed batter for the first time this afternoon. His first 3 at-bats came against Luis Perez. Went 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Bruce Walton out to talk to Jesse Litch. While he does that, Blue Jays bullpen goes to work again. Casey Jansen. Jansen and Litch have been a very potent 1-2 punch in the later innings for the Blue Jays.
Frank Francisco's had about 10 really good games in a row, but Litch and Jansen have really solidified the bullpen lately. They've been their hottest pitchers coming out of the bullpen.
Jesse Litch needs a double play. First and second.
This is from this side of that home plate. Zobrist is a switch hitter. He's got more power from the left side. 11 of his 15 home runs have come from the left-handed side. Better batting average from the right-hand side. A little bit shorter swing left-handed. A little bit more power.
Jesse Litch falls behind 2-0. It's been a struggle for Litch since he's entered the game. He retired Desmond Jennings on a weak ground ball to first, and then walked Fold and Longoria. Trying to go away and missed all the way across the plate, but caught the inside corner. Popped back over the Blue Jays dugout. This is game 2 of a 4-game series. It'll be a wraparound series. Another afternoon game tomorrow, and then a Monday night game. That'll wrap up the homestand. The Blue Jays will then head to Baltimore for a Tuesday night opener. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the DH, Ben Zobrist. Checked his swing on that breaking ball. It's a full count. Would you start the base runners right here with Zobrist?
No.
You wouldn't want to create any movement. Zobrist strikes out. He has a strikeout this afternoon, but you don't want to start the runners.
I think he's such a good hitter that you could line into a double play. I think he's going to make contact. Sam Fuld doesn't need any extra help running from second base to try and score on a base hit to the outfield.
Not running. Cut on and missed. Good call, Teddy.
I hit those every now and then. Good guessing, sometimes. But Joe Madden knows his ball club. Jesse Litch pulls the string on Zobrist, and he strikes out for the second time in a tight situation. A good slider, 3-2.
2 outs now as Zobrist strikes out for a second time. B.J. Upton. Upton just 4 for 20 against Jesse Litch. Long drive left field, and this one's fair. A 3-run home run to the second deck. B.J. Upton, a no-doubter, number 18.
When he has his timing, and we talked about this his first time up, when he has his timing, he gets that front foot down. He's got lightning in that bat. Sitting all over first pitch from Litch. It's a fastball. He gets that front foot down. Starts a little bit earlier, down, and there it goes. Home run number 18 and 3 quick runs for the Rays.
And his last at bat, he hit one far enough, but just foul down the left field line. Jesse Litch will leave the ball game and turn things over to Casey Jansen. B.J. Upton, his 18th of the season. Right back here when David Price goes to the mound, he'll be opposed by Brandon Morrow. Tomorrow's game at 1:07 Eastern. Monday, the series finale, a 7:07 start. Casey Jansen throws a first pitch strike. B.J. Upton jumped on a first pitch fastball and knocked it out of the ballpark. A 3-run home run. Tampa Bay scoring 6 runs again this afternoon. They had 6 last night.
And 6 the 4 games before that.
4 games against the Tigers. Jesse Litch almost got out of it and struck out Ben Zobrist. Sean Rodriguez had a big day at the plate. His third hit.
E.J. Upton, when he gets that timing right, he's a dangerous hitter. You add the speed to what he can do offensively. Got that front foot down and unloaded.
Upton with 61 RBI now. He had missed 3 games. He crashed into the wall in center field, missed 3 games, and returned to the lineup last night for the first time. Kelly Shopping, the catcher, batting with 2 outs. Rodriguez will run. Rodriguez was thrown out at third. One of 2 base stealers Aaron Sebia has thrown out this afternoon. Elliott Johnson had a steal in the 6th. Kelly Shopping coming to the Tampa Bay Rays from Cleveland. December of 2009. It's a good game caller. Does a nice job of helping his pitchers work their way through the game.
He's got an excellent percentage of throwing out base stealers. At 44%, which is excellent for a backup catcher. They share time for the most part with John Jaso. We saw Robinson Chirinos the last time we were down in Tampa. He got a couple of big hits against the Blue Jays. But he's got power. 189 at bats. He's got 7 home runs. Forget about the average. When you don't get that consistent playing time, it's all about what you can do.
Casey Jansen throws it away. Sean Rodriguez will go to second, and now he's making his way to third. Bautista hesitated but throws a strike right on time. Sean Rodriguez gets thrown out at third to end the inning. He moved into scoring position, tested the arm of Bautista, and lost. Jose picks up his 10th assist of the season. The error by Jansen. Rodriguez assessing the situation and made the wrong decision. He's nailed it third on a good throw from Bautista.
The third base coach, Sean Rodriguez, does not do that, and he pays the price as Bautista guns him down at third base to end that inning. Good job by the outfield.
Casey Kochman comes off the bench to take over defensively at first base. Kochman originally was in the lineup, and then he was scratched with a minor illness. With that move, Sean Rodriguez moves to second. And Jeff Neiman will try to extend this streak to 12 games for Tampa Bay starter, pitching 7 or more innings. Brett Lawrie has struck out twice, both on curveballs. Elliott Johnson, who started at second, moves to shortstop. Bounced foul. All those defensive moves reflect the versatility of Joe Maddon's roster. Maddon late in the game with a 4-run lead puts his best defensive club out there, and that includes Casey Kochman at first. Okay, the left-handers were on the bench with Luis Perez starting today. Damon, Jaso, Joyce, and Kochman.
Yeah, they have 4 players on the bench, but it seems like they've got about 9 because of all the versatility, the way they can move players around the diamond. They still have Johnny Damon on the bench and John Jaso.
Both Damon and Jaso started in last night's game. Full count. Going to split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall. Laurie's headed for third. He's around second. Never hesitates, and he'll get there. There'll be no throw. 4th triple for Brett Lawrie. Man, he's fun to watch when he hits a ball in the gap.
You just watch him just take off. Struck out his first 2 times up, and we talked about him making an adjustment. He does. He goes with that pitch, splits the outfield, and you can see he's thinking 3 as soon as he hit that ball and it touched the grass.
4 doubles, 4 triples, 3 home runs. J.P. Arancibia, RBI double. '61 ribbies on the season for Arancibia. Infield is back. Tampa Bay will trade an out for a run here in this situation. 2-0.
He even came into this inning 100 pitches thrown, facing the bottom of the lineup. You know, Joe Maddon wants to get him through this inning. But if he can't, just in case, he's got some reinforcements working.
J.P. Howe, one of 3 left-handers the Rays have in their bullpen, starts to warm up. Neiman all of a sudden lost his command. It's a long inning. Top half of the inning. Pitching change. Took a long time. You wonder if he stiffened up on that bench. Ground ball to short. Lawrie comes in to score. Arancibia is thrown out at first. Arancibia picks up an RBI with the ground out.
You know, we caught, here comes Joe Maddon now. I think you're right on. We caught Jeff Neiman kind of moving his back. Again, he's had that lower back problem. And I think Joe Madden has picked up on that. His fastball hasn't been there this inning. And he's going to make the change.
So the Rays' streak of 7 or more by their starters will end as J.P. Howell comes out of the bullpen. In the third, he gives up 3 runs on 5 hits, just 2 walks, but threw 111 pitches, and it appeared as though he got a little bit stiff with that long top half of the 7th.
Yeah, especially that last at bat against J.P. Arancibia. The ball just wasn't on a good downward plane from Big Jeff Neven, so he is out of the ball game. J.P. Howell takes over. He was actually the closer for the Rays a couple of years ago. He got 17 saves for him. Missed all of last season with a shoulder problem.
Neiman in line for his 9th win of the season. He scattered those 5 hits over his 6 in the third. Wise 0 for 2. Checked his swing. Howell had a great season in their World Series year 2008. Pitched in 64 games. He was 6-1 working in the middle. Look, breaking ball slipped out of his hand.
And he's got a good one. He'll get a lot of outs with his curveball. Breaking ball that time just wasn't there. Left-handers are hitting just .213 against J.P. Howell. Did a good job in the middle now instead of pitching at the end of the back end of the bullpen.
There's that curveball. He got on top of that one and strikes out Wise. 2 down here in the 7th.
That year you were talking about, he had 92 strikeouts in around 90 innings coming out of the bullpen with a lot of pitches just like that. Hard breaking ball. Tough to pick up the pitch from J.P. Howell. Did not start the year with this team. Again, still recuperating from that shoulder problem he had last year. Did not pitch in a game until May the 20th this year.
Yunel Escobar goes after the first pitch. Longoria dives, and from his knees in time to get Escobar. Longoria had the double clutch. He dove, gloved it, and then fumbled for the grip on the baseball, but still has time. Watch him dig into his glove. There's the catch. He's got to re-grip it, but still throws out Escobar. November 13th. Catch the final match of the 2011 Tri-Nations Rugby Saturday as the world #1 ranked nation New Zealand plays host to Australia. Setanta Sports, the home of international sport. Contact your TV service provider for more information. Casey Jansen came into the ball game and gave up a single to Sean Rodriguez, but after Jansen threw the ball away at first, Rodriguez was thrown out trying to advance from first to third by Jose Bautista. Kelly Shopik was at the plate. Inside. Tampa Bay always plays the Blue Jays tough. They lead the season series 8-4. They have exceptional starting pitching. They have a way of taking advantage of their scoring opportunities.
You know what they do well also is they don't panic like good veteran teams that have been in the playoffs before. They have the come from behind victories. They have the walk-off victories this year. And I think a lot of that has to do with what they've accomplished over the last 3 years, getting into the playoffs.
Kelly Shopik lifts the fly ball into center. Dwayne Wise, first out. Take a look at the AL East standings. Red Sox were 64-38. The Yankees trailed behind, and now the Yankees have overtaken the Red Sox.
You know, in 1 month, they've been able to cut into that deficit. You know, it's still a big one because the Yankees and the Red Sox, they just don't go into long losing streaks. But they will have their shot at them.
They certainly have their opportunities. The Yankees are a game behind the Red Sox at the start of play. This afternoon, Boston played an early game starting at noon, first of 2 games of a doubleheader. The Yankees at the Baltimore Orioles, they had a doubleheader schedule, but it was postponed because of the threat of Hurricane Irene. 1-2, 1 out. Hit sharply up the middle into center field for Elliott Johnson, his 3rd hit of the afternoon. Fans, test your knowledge and win additional Sharp prizes by visiting the new Hit a Home with Sharp Facebook page. Great opportunities to answer some baseball questions and win some beautiful Sharp prizes. Check it out on Facebook. Casey Kochman, his first at bat, he came into the game defensively at first base. He's batting in the shortstop's spot. There goes Johnson. Takes off on the first pitch. Aaron Sebia throws another strike. Boy, he's thrown the ball well all afternoon. It's the third base stealer he's caught this afternoon.
He came into this game throwing out 23% of the would-be base stealers, but the improvement is there. Watch how quickly he gets rid of it and how accurately. All Oscar has to do is catch the ball and lay his glove down and let the runner slide right into him. Great throw by Aaron Sebia.
Very patient throw. Didn't rush it. Took his time and threw a strike to Escobar.
Quick feet. That's what catching is. You got to have your feet underneath you and come rushing out of there. Casey Jansen gave him a good pitch to throw on too.
Jansen does a good job of unloading the ball quickly and getting it to the catchers. There's a base hit into center for Casey Kochman. Boy, he's had some year with the bat. Kochman hitting .323 before that base hit.
Bottom of the lineup for Tampa Bay has been dynamite this afternoon. Johnson with 3 hits. Rodriguez with a couple of hits, and now 2 hits out of the number 9 slot.
Eight of the 11 hits have come from the last 4 spots in the order, but the damaging blow was the 3-run home run off the bat of B.J. Upton that came in the 7th. Desmond Jennings has an opposite field base hit. He slapped the ball through the infield on the right side. 1 for 3 this afternoon. Takes the strike.
Can't hit that pitch. That is where Casey Jansen has lived all season long, to right-handers. That little cut fastball on the outside part of the plate.
So breaking ball lifted into right field. Bautista calling for it. Jennings is retired. Jansen closes out the 8th. Tampa Bay has a 3-run lead. The Jays will bat bottom of the 8th. Now it's time for Connected Update. Here's Jamie and Greg live in the Blackberry broadcast studio here at Rogers Center. Copy early. Subscribe now at sportsnet.ca/magazine. The Sportsnet magazine coming out toward the end of September. Lots of great stories, lots of great writing, and beautiful photography. So make sure you sign up and get your magazine. Jake McGee, the left-hander. We mentioned Tampa Bay has 3 left-handers. Howell closed out to 7th. Struck out Wise and got Escobar to ground out.
Jake McGee's got a big arm. Made 129 minor league starts before this season to get his innings in, and it looks like his future might be out of the bullpen for Joe Maddon's team. He can strike you out. He throws hard, good fastball. He's got a good slider. So Jake McGee will fill in here in the 8th inning. 2 out of 3 batters, the first 3 batters in this inning, are left-handed. Joe Maddon does a good job of setting up his relievers to face and putting them in good situations.
Jake McGee made his first opening day roster. He was sent back to AAA on May 1st and then was recalled on July 15th. He has at least 1 strikeout in 11 of his last 13 appearances since his return to the big leagues. Eric Thames, Jose Bautista, Adam Lynn. Tampa Bay leads 6-3. There's that good fastball you were talking about.
When you watch him pitch, reminds me a lot of Thornton from the Chicago White Sox. It's big, throws hard. McGee is listed at 6'3", 230. He was a 5th round selection back in 2004. Just turned 25 years old, so there's a bright future with this young arm.
Just pours that fastball right in there to Eric Thames. And this is what we were talking about with Tampa Bay and their ability to draft and develop talented starters. And as the time goes on, they'll decide whether or not McGee's better suited for the pen or for returning to the rotation.
You know, I would certainly like to have a left-hander who throws 97 miles an hour like this coming out of my bullpen late in the game.
Well, another thing that's attractive is he's a big, strong guy. So Joe Maddon probably thinks he could stand up to the rigors of pitching 3, maybe 4 times a week if he were going to be your closer.
Yeah, 1 inning here or 1 inning there.
There's a slider that Thames gets a piece of. You know, and that's the one thing, too, that power always plays. It gives you the ability to make the decisions. Okay, what do you want? You want him throwing out of the bullpen maybe 3 times a week, or you want him starting? I mean, obviously, to me, the most valuable part of your pitching staff is your starters. They set the tone for everything. But if you have a surplus, and certainly Tampa Bay at this point has a surplus.
They've got 6.
Then you have to decide, is McGee better in the rotation than the other potential guys that might work out of the pen?
He made 19 starts a couple of years ago in AA. Had 100 strikeouts in AA, and that's when he got onto the radar and been up and down ever since.
But the thing that's attractive, the ability to strike hitters out. That's what you need late in the ball game. You don't need to encourage your opponents by giving up walks or giving up base hits. You come in and punch out a couple of guys, you're going to demoralize your opponents.
This breaking ball needs a little bit of refining. You can see trying to guide it in there against the left-handed hitting Eric Thames. But there's no question he's got a good live arm. And there have been relievers in the past that have broken into the big leagues out of the bullpen.
Thames hits it high and deep to right. Home run, Eric Thames. What an at-bat he had against Jake McGee. He connects for his 9th homer of the season. It's a 2-run game.
He can hit. Eric Thames can hit. And the older he gets, the more time he puts in here at the big leagues. You're going to see 25 home runs. He fell behind 2 strikes and then started battling and got a pitch that he liked on the inner half, and he turned on it. High inside fastball, pulls his hands and gets the barrel of the bat through. There's no doubt about it to right field.
Boy, he's got a home run hitter swing, that's for sure. And speaking of home runs, Jose Bautista, he's got 37 of them. It's a one-run game here in the 8th. A 2-run game. She's 6-4.
Jose's trying to make it a one-run game with that swing. Thames is showing in this series that he can handle all types of pitching.
Hopped up. Casey Kochman near the bag at first. Bautista's retired. Juan Cruz, the right-hander, loosening up. Across the field, Frank Francisco cranking it up. Oh, he's got a good fastball. 97 miles an hour.
Turn it up. Turn it up a notch, but if you can't get your breaking ball over, hitters can just eliminate that pitch.
And there's a breaking ball. Not even close. So now you look fastball, but you still have to look for a fastball in a certain area. And now when the pitcher has fallen behind, you just narrow that area even further.
If you like it down, look for it down. If you like it in, look for it in.
Up and popped up. Again, that's that pitch that's so inviting because you can see it so well. It's close to your eyes. He was looking fastball, identified fastball, but then chased a pitcher's pitch.
Just a little bit too up. Might have been ball 3.
There's a strikeout for McGee. Continues that string of strikeouts.
96 miles an hour, but it's got some movement on it too. It's like he got his hand on top of the ball, cut it away from the left-handed hitting Lynn. Second strikeout, and now Joe Maddon's going to get the matchup that he wants.
He's got the right-hander Juan Cruz. McGee does his job. He gives up a home run, but then strikes out Adam Lynn. Cruz when we come back. may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. A great Junior Jays Saturday here at Rogers Center. 24,052 on hand. Lots of kids always out on Saturday afternoon. They'll be invited to run the bases at the end of the ball game, and they have been entertained to another close game between the Rays and the Jays. And now Juan Cruz, a veteran right-hander, comes on with 2 outs.
This is his 11th major league season. He was a non-roster righty to spring training. It made the team. Bill Madden kept telling me in spring training, watch out for Juan Cruz. He's going to have a good year. 41 innings, 41 strikeouts. He's got a good slider. Batter's hitting just .212 against the veteran right-hander. 45 games, and Edwin Encarnacion will get the first shot at him.
Making his 7th appearance against the Blue Jays this season. He's worked a total of just 4 2/3 innings. There's that cut fastball that missed away. Encarnacion 0 for 2 with the walk. Ball and a strike. Eric Thames had a great at bat against Jake McGee. Got down early, but paddled, fouled off a bunch of close pitches, and then drilled his 9th home run over the wall in right. That started the inning. There's a shot to left field. You can forget about this one. Edwin Encarnacion, his 14th of the season. It's a 1-run game.
Juan Cruz had only given up 3 home runs all season long. He has really handled righties and the lefties. But when you hang a pitch to a home run hitter, they're going to hurt you. And that's what Edwin Encarnacion does. Takes a full cut, never gets cheated at the plate. Watch where this pitch is. He wants to go down and away, and it's center cut. And no doubt about it as he gets everything into that one. Encarnacion homers for the 14th time.
Oh, he crushed that ball.
Yeah, that one had to feel good right there.
Kelly Johnson. Johnson's got some pop. Now he's got the count in his favor. Johnson's never had a hit against Cruz. He's 0 for 5. But the 2 home runs have awakened the crowd. 3-0. I'd give him the green light here.
Oh, yeah.
Let him swing.
He doesn't know the league because he's just come over here, but he can guess fastball.
He was taking 3-1. Brett Lawrie on deck. Lawrie had struck out twice and then tripled in the 7th. Two-out walk.
Blue Jays struck late the other night. They had 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and 2 in the 9th. They have that ability to come back. And now the tying run is on base. So Jim Hickey's going to go out and talk to Cruz just to remind them how they want to pitch Brett Lawrie.
Now, we mentioned they don't have much information on Brett Lawrie. They're only seeing him twice. They get to see him a little bit in the spring, but that doesn't give you a real good read on what a hitter can do. Pitchers aren't throwing breaking balls, and they're not up to speed. But Jim Hickey wants to go out here and help Cruz with a game plan and an approach to attack Brett Lawrie.
Cruz throws hard. Again, it's a good hard fastball and a good slider. What you're going to have to do is just make sure he throws you a strike.
He has been a very good clutch hitter late in ball games. 7th inning or later, he's at 364. The rally caps are out. Blue Jays trailed 6-2 at one point. Corey's got so much confidence, he understands it only takes one pitch to hit, and he always looks at that first pitch when he's facing a pitcher for the first time.
On it, kept the front shoulder in, then realized he has to back out of the way.
Cruz steps off to regroup, goes to the rosin bat. Blue Jays hit 3 home runs twice this season, the last time on the 3rd of July against the Phillies. Popped it up. Playable. Longoria in foul ground. Gorey's retired. The Blue Jays. Close ground. Eric Thames started the 8th. His 9th home run. Edwin Encarnacion with 2 outs. Number 14. It's a 1-run game. To go at RogersOnDemand.com.
B.J. Upton had just missed a home run his previous at-bat down the left field line. He doesn't miss this one. Home run number 18, a 3-run shot to left field. The difference in the ball game right now. Upton circles the bases, and that was the last time Tampa scored back in the 7th inning.
The home run was the 18th of the season for B.J. Upton. Frank Francisco will be the 5th Blue Jay pitcher to work.
Much better of late for Francisco. 43 games for Frank. His ERA is now under 4 because his last 11 appearances covering 11 innings have been scoreless. And he's only given up 1 run over his last 14 innings. Good fastball, good breaking ball. The reemergence of his split finger fastball, I think, has something to do with that.
Brent Lawrie popped up to Evan Longoria with a man on. That ended the 8th inning. But it's a 1-run game. Francisco will try to keep it a 1-run game. He works to 2, 3, and 4 in the Rays order. Sam Fuld, the right fielder, will start things off. First pitch strike. Francisco lately, and Pat mentioned how well he's thrown, but he's kind of come out, just tested that fastball early in his appearance.
Get me over fastball, get ahead.
Fly ball, easy play for Thames in left. 1 out. Thames with a good day at the plate, 2 for 4. Scored 2 runs, drove in a run in the 8th, his 9th home run of the season. No swing, says Jeff Nelson down at first. That was that split finger pitch. Longoria has walked 3 times today. Once intentionally. That was in the 5th inning. Goes after that fastball. Pops it into the seats. Ball on a strike. Joel Peralta, the right-hander. It's interesting that it's not Kyle Farnsworth. Farnsworth has 22 saves. He's been the closer.
That is interesting. Farnsworth hasn't allowed a run in August.
Two balls and a strike, 1 out. Evan Longoria. Oh, what a good splitter. That one had late break and dove right under the bat of Longoria.
Longoria's a good off-speed hitter, but it's tough to hit that one because it's so hard.
Pop up and playable. Then makes the catch and foul ground. 2 outs. Ben Zobrist. He's 1 for 4 this afternoon. He's struck out twice. Jesse Litch struck him out with the bases loaded. That was the 2nd out of the 7th inning. But then the next pitch Litch threw was a 3-run home run to B.J. Upton. Frank Francisco came on in the 9th. Three and 0. Luis Perez went 5 innings in his 2nd big league start. Gave up 5 hits, allowed 2 earned runs, walked 4 and struck out 4. Three and 0 to Ben Zobrist, taking all the way. Zobrist struck out against Perez to end the 5th.
You swing the bat, you're missing. It's pick.
He has struck out his last 2 times up with runners on base.
This time he singles into right. Zobrist is aboard with 2 outs. So that'll bring B.J. Upton to the plate once again. Upton has reached base 3 times. He walked, he was hit by a pitch, and he homered. His home run's the difference in this game.
Certainly is. That 3-run home run in the 7th inning. They haven't scored since then. Zobrist is a threat to steal. He's got 15 stolen bases this year.
Great jump. No chance at all for Aaron Sebia, and he saw that great jump, tried to rush a throw from his knees and bobbled the baseball. That's a big steal.
Yeah, it certainly is. That's why we were talking about it. You get in the scoring position. He's going on first movement from Francisco. High leg kick and no chance for Arancibia, who's thrown the ball well this afternoon. Getting 3 base stealer. That's number 16 for Zobrist.
I wouldn't think Zobrist would try to steal with 2 outs. Not going to third here in this situation. No. He's in scoring position already.
Yeah, he can score with his speed. He can score on any base hit to the outfield.
This is popped up back behind the screen. Arancibia will give it a look, but it's well out of play. Once again, this is a big insurance run for Tampa Bay. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, Arancibia, Wise, and Escobar, the scheduled hitters. Zobrist is a big runner at second. Good fastball.
Threw that ball by him. Didn't get the foot down. Can climb the ladder right here. Throw a high fastball to B.J. Upton. He's got enough smoke on that fastball to get it by him.
Francisco set. Got it. Went with that fastball. Upton chased. It was well out of the strike zone, but he couldn't resist. Tampa Bay strands a big runner at second. Arancibia will lead things off. Wise will bat second. Yunel Escobar. Joel Peralta. Sportsnet Ontario, more baseball. Justin Verlander goes against the Twins looking for win number 20. And on Sportsnet West and Pacific, it'll be the Rockies against the Dodgers. A NL West matchup as Colorado has visions of a late season comeback, the way they did a few years ago. Joel Peralta, the right-hander, comes out of the bullpen. This is a curious move. Kyle Farnsworth last pitched on Tuesday, and he's been terrific out of the bullpen. He had his consecutive batters streak retired. He had 26 in a row retired. That was snapped on Tuesday when Alex Avila doubled against him, but we have no reason to think that Farnsworth is hurt. This ball is popped up on the first pitch. Kelly Shopping missed it. Flat out missed it.
That could be a gift. got the sunglasses down. You see him backing up on that ball. When a ball goes off the bat and goes straight up, it doesn't come straight down. It's got backspin on it. It's going to take it back towards the field of play. And Shopik just, like you said, missed it.
That happened to J.P. Arancibia on Thursday night. Mike Moustakas popped one up like that, and then on the next pitch, Moustakas got a base hit. This time, Arancibia pops it up to right. He got a second chance and couldn't take advantage. Thursday night in the ninth inning, after a batter was on base, Arancibia had that ball pop right out of his glove. He was surprised by it. On the next pitch, Moustakas had an RBI double to the gap in right field. So Kelly Shopik commits the error, but Arancibia is retired. Dwayne Wise shortens up to bunt, takes a strike.
Not a bad idea. Try and get on base any way you can. He can run, he can steal your base. Can score from first on an extra base hit.
Fly ball into left field. Jennings. 2 down. Peralta has 3 career saves.
He's got one of them this year. He is also working on a streak where his last 7 appearances have been scoreless. He has also had a strikeout in 8 of his last 10 appearances. Fastball, breaking ball, basically from Peralta.
Yunel Escobar will try to keep the Blue Jays alive here. Goes after that high fastball, got underneath it.
These two teams, they play great games together. Competitive, back and forth, close. They're always entertaining.
10 of the previous 12 games this season have been decided by 2 runs or less. Tampa Bay leads the season series 8 games to 4.
Peralta is very deliberate on the mound. Takes his time, really thinks his way through every at-bat.
Two and one.
His last appearance, he actually picked up a win. That was against Detroit 3 days ago. On the season, Peralta has won 3 games.
He leads the Rays in appearances. This is his 61st game. Escobar had a pretty good pitch to hit.
Yeah, he's thinking about tying this ball game up. You see him ask Tim Cheetah if that ball was a strike. And Cheetah said yes. Right now he's got a battle. Just get on and give Eric Thames a chance.
Thames homered in his last at bat. Popped up to left. This should do it. Escobar is retired. Peralta comes in and picks up his 4th career save in a 1-run game. And Tampa Bay has won the first 2 games of this series.
B.J. Upton with the big blow in this afternoon's game, the 3-run home run. the difference in the game. The Blue Jays came back, scored 3 runs in the last 3 innings, but it wasn't enough.
Big home run by B.J. Upton. That's the difference in this game. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back here tomorrow afternoon, Game 3 of the series. Stay tuned. More baseball coming up here on Rogers Sports Network.